Well, hello again, vinyl community. It's Jacob coming back to tackle those questions from the 2021 Tales from the Crate vinyl tag. Um, I shot a video over the weekend that I'd hoped to post. It was about 25 minutes in length. I had a lot of fun making it. And then I watched the video before I made it public, and I saw on the screen what appeared to be a smudge on my cheek. It looked like maybe I'd been eating a fudgesicle and had shaky hands, or been distracted and missed my mouth. And I know I hadn't been eating a fudgesicle, but I think that would be what the conclusion that somebody might have jumped to. I checked my face out in the mirror and couldn't find anything. So I think what happened was I had a shadow. I've got jowly cheeks, and it might have just been a trick of the light. But the public image I wanted to put out here is not that of somebody who would put out content with fudgesicle smears on his face. So I decided to scrap that video and try again. If it happens again, I will. I'll post it, but hopefully with this explanation here, people would know what's going on and give things some context. So I left off with prompt number 4, showing a box set, and move on to prompt number 5, show a concept album. And I've got one for you here. It's In the Wee Small Hours by Frank Sinatra and Nelson Riddle on the Capitol label, 1955. And Sinatra is considered one of the pioneers of concept albums. Although if you're thinking about more recent concept albums, this is nothing like Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. This is not an album that tells a story or has any kind of narrative. I think it'd be more accurate to say this is a theme album. And the concept or the theme here is, it's male loneliness. And so what Sinatra's done is he's picked out some songs that they're just about being a lonely guy. Songs, torch songs, unrequited love, songs about heartbreak and love gone wrong. And then, for the duration, this is an early 12-inch album. It was new at the time. You could just marinate in your sorrow with this record, and the title track sets the tone. In the Wee Small Hours, tells the story. A man, he's lying in bed. It's not late at night. It's later than that. It's the wee small hours of the morning, and he's lying there and he's thinking about this girl. But he's not going to try to count sheep and go to bed and get some rest, and be a functional member of society the next day. He's going to stay up thinking about her. I'm sorry, I got a kink in the neck. It's causing some strain and tension, and might even get me blinking really good. But he's lying there. He's got this mindset, I guess, that the pain of this woman that he desires is better than not wanting her and not having the pain. So he's just gonna cling to the misery. And you can see that the tone of loneliness is captured in the cover artwork. We have Sinatra out late at night, standing under there's a lamppost over there, I guess across the street, and he's smoking a cigarette. Lonely guy. Now you think 1950s post-war economic boom, the Leave It to Beaver era. This is not going to go over well with the public. Turns out Frank Sinatra found a real untapped market. Sad, lonely men all across America, had, I guess, found their voice. And this concept album, this concept of songs for sad, lonely men really caught on with the public, and other artists did the same sort of thing. Lots of pop vocal albums about loneliness, sadness, country records, country albums. I mean, the genre just it became a little subgenre in itself. Frank Sinatra, he was not one and done here. It wasn't like Operation Mindcrime, where there really was not much of a demand for Mindcrime too. Sinatra's sad and lonely men, they wanted more, and he delivered. We got Sinatra with Gordon Jenkins, and Gordon Jenkins could get you a little weepy with his string session. But look at the cover art here. Sinatra's got kind of a self-hug going on there, and he's using the cigarette as a pacifier. Where are you? This man is lonely. Oh my goodness, we've got some gut-wrenching stuff here. This one, The Night We Called It a Day. Oh my. I'm a Fool to Want You. Autumn Leaves. Maybe You'll Be There. Maybe you just walk around town hoping to run into the girl, and that's not a very efficient way of meeting your loved one. I'm just hoping you'll bump into her somewhere. I mean, that's also kind of creepy. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Especially if you're the kind of person that would do that sort of thing. Don't pretend to be surprised. You've been stalking your prey. My Lonely Town is on here. Lonely Town, it's not just the girl that you can't have. The whole town is turned lonely on you. And that's got to be tough, especially if you're in a big city. There's just more loneliness to surround yourself with. And the depressing tunes, they just kept going. I mean, this concept had some legs here. Now, we go for, there's no cigarette on this cover, but now, Sinatra's kind of upped the ante. He's not just a man alone. He's probably the loneliest figure out there, the sad clown on the cover. Very fine illustration here. I think even though Sinatra's in a clown costume, might be the best portrait of any on any of his record covers. But I'm not an expert on female psychology, but I think if you're asking women what they're looking for in a man, I don't think that sad clown is going to be anywhere near the top of their list. It's about as lonely as you can get. I mean, people don't even really necessarily want to be around happy clowns. The sad clown, it's kind of like signaling here. I've given up. I have no chance at finding love. I'm a sad clown now. I'm not just a man on a street corner with a cigarette. I'm not just a man hugging himself in Lonely Town. I'm a sad clown, and there's really no hope at this point. We've got some great tracks on here though. And Nelson Riddle's back. We've got Angel Eyes on side one, and then One for My Baby to close this one out. And there's fine music on here, but you gotta take it in small doses. Got another one of these depressing Sinatra records for you, and you'll notice that this one here has a plastic sleeve on it. And I do take the sleeves off the other records before filming. I don't think there's any reason to show a video to people where you're spending half the time just taking records out of plastic sleeves. I mean, the sands of the hourglass are fallen, and that's not really how anybody needs to spend their life. It's just watching people take records out of plastic sleeves. But this one's special. So Andrew from Tales from the Crate talks quite a bit about a record store that used to be in Fresno, California, Spinners Records, and that's where I picked this record up. This is Sinatra, 1959. No One Cares. A wonderful, wonderful cover there again. Cigarettes back. He's alone. This time in photographic form. But what they did over at Spinner's Records that was neat. They wouldn't stick the price tag on the record itself or on the cover. They would put it on the plastic sleeve so that you wouldn't damage the record cover or the record. And I think that was a marvelous approach to selling records. I know other shops do that, but I wish we could see more of that. So here again we've got Sinatra. This time he's at a bar, and the bar's crowded. He's got the cigarette, but he's also turned to alcohol for comfort. So he might be hitting rock bottom by this point. 1959, 4 years. I mean, he's having a downward slide. And there's this woman. She's at the bar, probably very beautiful. She's glamorous. She's got a fur coat on there, or a wrap, and but she's facing away. She doesn't want to have anything to do with this guy, and maybe she's waiting for an alpha male to show up or something like that. And Sinatra's not even giving her a sidelong glance, and you look at the tracks on here. I'll Never Smile Again. That's a bold claim. I don't know that I'd want to lock that one in. I don't stand a ghost of a chance with you. Why bother trying? I'm destined for loneliness. Rough stuff. Now, again, it's terrific music on here, but think about this. It's not something you don't want to listen to all at once. Back in these old days, they had those record players that had the stackers, and you could take these records and you could pile them up, and you could just play them. You could play them one after the other, and I think that would just be a little too much gloom, a little too much weight, a little too much strain on the old mental health. But fortunately, Frank Sinatra, he didn't only record gloomy records. He had another concept that he worked with. Love and happiness. And here's one: songs for swinging lovers. Now this is just a song about or a concept album about love and being happy, and that's pretty good. I mean, this is the kind of record where even if you're a sad clown and you have no hope of ever finding love for yourself, you can still appreciate that love exists for others, and you can be happy listening to this record. You've got the young lovers, so they got the future ahead of them. The songs You Make Me Feel So Young, Too Marvelous for Words, You Brought a New Kind of Love to Me. I mean, these older standards that were popular in the 30s, Sinatra was able to breathe new life into them with the help of Nelson Riddle. Great stuff. But as the folks at Capitol, they found that this cover was inadequate, and so they drew it up again. The rendering of Sinatra is slightly improved here, but I think the main purpose was just to flip his head around, and he's watching this young couple. And he had just been going through the terrible breakup with Ava Gardner, and probably thought that life was gonna be rosy for him, but he still was destined to have some more romantic disasters in his future. But he might have been ignorant of that at the time, and there's something to be said for false hope. It can help you get through some difficult moments. But there we go. That's a concept record. Let's see what we have next. Um, Artists that changed directions. I'm going to stick with another capital artist here. This is Nat King Cole. The king is, it's in quotation marks, on the back and the front. His name wasn't really King. The Nat King Cole outfit, they recorded as a trio in the 1940s, and they had some popular success as a jazz group. But when the 50s rolled around, Nat King Cole decided to sell out for the popular entertainment market. And he saw that there was a lot of cash to be grabbed by becoming a pop singer, and he did. Some of those records were excellent, and even the mediocre records, the poor records, might have had some good tracks on them. But the people who were fans of the trio at the time, they felt like Nat had abandoned them, and this record here, it's got some recordings from the trio, and it's got some thoroughly entertaining liner notes on the back. I do enjoy reading liner notes for these budget or these compilation records that come out, and sometimes the writers they open up quite a bit, and this has got quite a good read on the back. Starts out here. My father, God rest him, thought that the best thing Nat King Cole ever did was Ramblin Rose. And even if you're familiar with the song Ramblin Rose, you know it's just a steaming pile of poop, and it's not one of his best. And Teresa, a disturbingly pretty young lady, who dropped by to cook fettuccine for me one night, and who had legs calculated to make a sculptor break his chisel, was so moved by Nat's nature boy that I felt grander things were at hand. But all that happened was she overcooked the fettuccine, which didn't bother me. She had already overcooked other things. That's an interesting encounter. Nature Boy, probably the earliest of the easy listening numbers that Nat put out. Then there was my jazz class at St. John's, who collectively stated their favorite Christmas carol was Nat warbling about chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Those are solid opinions, of course, but I place the highest value on a prediction of Jack McCardle. Oh, sorry, that's an I. That can be hard to read through the plastic. It made the I look like an L. Anyway, so this Jack McCardle character who now lives in New Jersey. Well, this record came out in 1985, so I don't know that Jack is still alive. He might still be in New Jersey, though. You can probably find him on the Find a Grave website. In 1944, Jack said that Nat's recording of Paper Moon would be a jazz classic with the passage of time. A successful electrical engineer, Jack has proved to be the great prophet. Few recordings carry the jazz flavor of the King Cole trio, telling you about a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea. I do enjoy that song quite immensely. It's one of my favorite songs of the golden age of the American songbook, and the King Cole trio sure knocked that one out of the park. So how do you follow up a timeless recording, something like It's Only a Paper Moon? Well, this is what happened. Here we have Nat King Cole, Songs for Two in Love, orchestra conducted by Nelson Riddle. But Nat's a little out of his depth when he's going for the easy listening market here. There's some nice work on here. We've got Autumn Leaves, Almost Like Being in Love. But then, oh my goodness, this record really reaches a low point. There's a track on here called Dinner for One Please James, something that Al Boley and Ray Noble recorded over there on the other side of the pond. And in this song, Nat King Cole, our jazz hero, is now singing to his butler. James is the name of the butler, and he's telling James, this has got to be embarrassing. When you have a breakup. Sinatra, was singing about breakups publicly, but Nat King Cole was singing to his butler in this song, James, and the woman, his wife, has left him because she's heard gossip, untruthful gossip about him, and rather than getting to the truth and maybe seeking out a marriage counselor and saving that marriage, she just accepted the lies that she was told about her husband, and moved out of the mansion. And so Nat King Cole is now telling the butler, dinner for one, but he's a sentimental gentleman. He orders his butler to leave his wife's favorite flowers where they are, because they remind him of her, and he's just gonna wait and I guess hope for the best. I don't really remember how the song ends. It's not really a good one. So this is what Nat King Cole was getting up to in the early 50s, this kind of nonsense. But then he returned to rare form, 1957. We had two wonderful albums. This Love Is the Thing with Gordon Jenkins really did a good job on the pop standards here. This is the stereo release. I could only find my stereo copies. I don't know where the other ones are. They have a slightly different track listing. Side one, you get out of the gate here with Stardust, and oh my goodness, he just nails the vocals. This is I think one of those songs that most people don't do justice to when they sing it. Usually works better as an instrumental. I was listening to a Benny Goodman version of it today from 1939 with Lionel Hampton and Charlie Christian there on guitar. That was fantastic, and I would have thought vocals would have spoiled that one. Nat King Cole, I think was one of the few people that could pull the vocal off on this song. Terrific. He did show that you take that Dinner for One Please James stuff out of there, you can do a good pop record. But he also got the old band back together again, so to speak, with this return to form with the trio, and he was flexing those jazz muscles once again, and this is about as a near perfect a record as you can get. Just You, Just Me kicks this one off. I mean, he just attacks you from all angles. You got Sweet Lorraine, It's Only a Paper Moon is back here. Harry Edison playing on that. You're Looking at Me, Willie Smith. He's got a wonderful group of guests working with him. Stuff Smith on the jazz violin. This was the first place I heard Stuff Smith. Route 66, and then he has the Nat King Cole at his smoothest, Blame It on My Youth. Imagine if I was a record buyer in 1957, a Nat King Cole jazz fan from the 40s, and this came out on long play LP, and just knocked my socks off. And I couldn't wait for the follow up, and it never happened. There was nothing like this ever again put out by Nat King Cole. He drifted off into country music towards the end of his career. So high hopes, I guess, in 1957. Album, artist changed direction, changed back, and then changed again. Turned his back on the trio, and well, we have this recorded memory to enjoy. Let's see here. Oh, let's go ahead and stop there. I imagine I've rambled more than that Ramblin Rose by this point, and I'll preview this thing, see if it's suitable for making available to the public. If you made it to the end of the video here, oh my goodness, I forgot my joke box. You go into autopilot sometimes, and you forget some things. So before I wrap the video up, I want to open the joke box and read you a joke. Well, this one here, it's I've got these printed jokes. This one here is not on one of my printed cards. It's been handwritten. I don't know what's going on here. It says, Jacob's voice reminds me of a CD that I bought in 2013. It lacks dynamic range. It's a little bit of a roast there. I appreciate a good laugh at my expense sometimes. That's understandable. I am capable at yelling and speaking in louder volumes, but it's late at night. If I was to speak loudly, then the neighbors might think I was having a row with my wife and call the authorities. That would be that's not something I want to get into right now. So I'll be back next time, I guess, with a white label promo. That could be exciting. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around, and look forward to seeing you again. If you have any friends that didn't finish the video, maybe they're one of those people that drops off in the first 30 seconds. You can say, hey, give Jacob another chance. I think you might get used to him over time. So what I'm doing here, I think I might try those links, and I just wanted some extra filler video at the end.